welcome to the second of my series of video yoga classes. I hope you're all keeping well. I hope you enjoyed the first one of these. If you're a beginner or new to yoga, I suggest you go back and watch the first one before you do this one, as there were some hints and tips for beginners in that one that I might not repeat this time. So it's probably better to do that the previous week's class first before you do this. Okay, so without further ado, if you all want to lie down, we'll get started. So come down onto your mat, arms down by your sides, palms facing upwards, feet hip width apart, falling gently out to the side, and just let go into your mat, coming into Shavasana now. And become aware of your breath. Place your right hand on your tummy and your left hand on your chest. And just feel the natural rise and fall of your chest. Don't try and change your breath. Just your natural breath. Just your torso gently rising and falling as you breathe. And now take your breath to your abdomen, so breathe into your tummy. So now your right hand should rise and fall while your left hand stays pretty much where it is. Nice big deep breaths filling the abdomen. And then let go of that and take your breath to your chest. So now your left hand should rise and fall while your right hand stays relatively stable. Big deep breaths, filling your chest to the sides as well as the front and back. And now let go of that and bring the breathing to the upper chest, the clavicle region. So breathing right up into your neck, your shoulders. Inevitably your left hand will still rise and fall here, but try to breathe right up to the very top of your lungs. And at the end of the next breath, let go of that and we'll put all three together. So breathe in first into the abdomen, then into the chest, then into the upper chest. And as you breathe out upper chest, chest, abdomen, and perhaps just give your abdomen a little squeeze at the end just to expel any stale air left in your lungs. That makes room for you to take a full deep breath of new fresh air with the next breath. So breathe in, abdomen, chest, upper chest, breathe out, upper chest, chest, abdomen. Try not to let your mind wander, stay with your breath. At the end of the next breath, just let go of that. Come back to your natural spontaneous breath. And just observe, just be aware of your breath. Has it changed at all? Has it slowed or deepened? Be objective, it doesn't matter if it has or it hasn't. Just notice. And now draw your legs together, take your arms up over your head, have a good long stretch from the tips of your toes up to the tips of your fingers. And then draw your knees into your chest, give them a nice tight squeeze, rock a bit from side to side. Come back to centre, take your arms out wide at shoulder height. Breathe in. As you breathe out, let your knees fall gently over to the right hand side, keeping your shoulders firmly on the mat. You can turn your head to the left if you like. You can take your right hand and put it on your left thigh if you like. And then just breathe into the twist. So in breath, draw the breath up from the base of the spine up to the crown of the head. Out breath, just release into the twist. Just let gravity do its work.
And then release the hand from the top of the leg. On an in-breath, draw the knees back up to centre. Out-breath, let them fall gently over to the left. Doesn't matter how far down they come. Keep your shoulders firmly on the mat. Turn your head to the right if you like. Don't hurt your neck though, just if that's comfortable for you. You can take your left hand and place it on your right thigh. Just add a bit of weight to the twist and then let go. In-breath, draw the breath up from the base of the spine up to the crown of the head. Notice the spiral shape of your spine as you take that breath up from the base of the spine to the crown of the head. And on the out-breath, just surrender into the twist. Just let go. Release the hand from the top of the leg. On an in-breath, draw the knees back up to centre. Hug the knees into the chest. Take your hands to your knees. Take your knees in big circles, massaging your lower back. And change direction. And back to centre. And then just drop your feet down by your buttocks with the big toes pointing inwards, outsides of the feet parallel. Palms down by the sides, palms facing downwards. We're going to come up into Setu Bandhasana, the bridge. We're not going to flow through it like we did last week. So, when you're ready, take a nice big deep breath in. As you breathe out, press your belly button down to the mat, lift the pelvis. So if you like, you can interlock your fingers underneath your body and draw your shoulders a little closer together. Keep drawing your thighs together, don't let them fall out to the sides. Keep lifting the pelvis, big deep breaths into the chest here. Stay with the breath, don't let your mind wander. And then release the hands. On an out breath, gently peel the spine down the mat with the tailbone coming down last. Just take a couple of breaths there. Just let your spine adjust. And then we'll do that again. So, nice big deep breath in. As you breathe out, press the belly button down to the mat, lift the pelvis. And then, if you like, you can interlock your fingers under your body, draw your shoulders together, draw your thighs a little closer together maybe, just stop them falling out to the sides. Keep the feet active, keep pressing into the feet, lifting the pelvis. And then nice big deep breaths again into the chest. And then release the hands from under the body, and on an out breath, gently peel the spine back down the mat with the tailbone coming down last. Again, just take a couple of breaths, let your spine readjust. And then take your right ankle, cross it past your left thigh. Flex that right foot, and then draw your left thigh towards you. Take your hands, interlock your fingers behind the left thigh, flex both feet. Just gently drawing those legs towards you, using your right elbow to just ease your right knee away a little. Breathe into it. And then straighten the left leg up towards the ceiling and point and flex both toes, both feet. And release that foot back down to the ground, keeping the legs crossed. Take the arms out wide at shoulder height. Breathe in. As you breathe out, let that right foot fall gently over to the left. Keeping your shoulders firmly on the mat. Don't worry about how far down your legs come. And then again, you can turn your head to the right if you like. So coming into this cross-legged twist. And use your breath again. Use your breath to release into the twist. Again, on the in-breath, draw the breath up from the base of the spine up to the crown of the head. Notice if the spine feels in a different shape this time. Just be aware. Notice your body. And then on an in-breath, draw the legs back up to centre. Out-breath, let that left knee fall gently over to the right. So coming into different twist on the other side. You can turn your head to the left if you like now. And again, come back to your breath. Notice the different shape of your spine. In breath, draw the legs back up to centre. Uncross the legs, cross them the other way. So left ankle past right thigh. Draw the right thigh towards you. Wrap your fingers around it. Draw that right thigh towards you. Flex both feet. Use the left arm to just ease that left knee away a bit. Use your breath. And then straighten that right foot up towards the ceiling and point and flex both feet. And release the right foot back down to the mat. Again, keeping the legs crossed, arms out wide at shoulder height. Breathe in. As you breathe out, let that left foot fall gently over to the right, shoulders firmly on the mat, head to the left. In breath, draw the breath up from the base of the spine, up to the crown of the head. Out breath, release into the twist. And on an in breath, bring the legs back up to centre. Out breath, right knee falls over to the left. Head can turn to the right if you like. With each in breath, draw the breath up the spiral of your spine. With each out breath, just let go into the twist. In breath, draw the legs back up to centre, uncross the legs, draw the knees in towards the chest, rock a bit from side to side, and come back to centre. Now, sorry, I should have reminded you to get a strap. You might need to pause and go and get one if you haven't got one already, because we're going to need a strap now, okay? So, back down to the mat, send your legs away from you, draw your right leg in towards you. Take your strap, take it around the ball of the right foot, strap in the right hand. Flex both feet. You can just take your left arm out to the side a bit if you feel you need a bit of balance here. But otherwise, just gently drawing that right leg in towards you. Just be very gentle, don't hurt yourself. No need to force it. There should never be any forcing in yoga. Breathe in. As you breathe out, let that right foot fall gently over to the right. Try and keep your torso flat to the mat if you can. Keep the left leg strong. Keep pushing through the heels. In breath, draw that right leg back up to centre. Swap hands on the strap. And on the out breath, take that leg across your body over to the left hand side. Try and keep the breath nice and steady. In breath, lift the leg back up to centre and release the strap. And we'll do the same on the other side. So take the strap around the ball of the left foot. Take the strap in the left hand. Flex both feet. Gently draw that left leg towards you. Breathe in. As you breathe out, let the left leg fall gently over to the left, keeping your torso flat to the mat if you can. Don't worry about how far down the leg comes. Listen to your body. On an in-breath, bring the leg back up to centre. Change hands on the strap. Out breath, take the leg across your body to the right-hand side. In breath, back up to centre, release the strap. Draw your knees in towards your chest, rock a bit from side to side. Take one hand to each knee, send the knees away from each other in opposite directions, opening the hips. Change direction. And back to centre. And then take your hands down the outside of your shins, take hold of the outsides of your feet, and then draw your knees in towards your armpits, feet up towards the ceiling, flat to the ceiling, knees down either side of the chest, and come into Ananda Balasana, the happy baby. So use your breath here. On the in-breath, feel the expansion. On the out-breath, feel the release. Just allow your back maybe to flatten along the mat on the out-breath. And release. Hug your knees into your chest again. Rock a bit from side to side. And then roll over onto your right hand side and use your hands and your arms to come up to seated. So you'll still need your strap with you here. Come to a comfortable cross-legged position. Arms out to the sides, up on the fingertips. Sorry, I just need a sip of water, excuse me. So arms out to the sides, up on the fingertips. Breathe in, raise the left arm, breathe out, stretch over to the right hand side, keeping your buttocks firmly on the mat. So use this right hand to press back a bit just to keep your buttocks there. And feel that stretch down the left side of your body. In breath, raise the arms back up to centre. Don't put any tension in your shoulders though, just relax your shoulders. Out breath over to the left. So try and drop your tailbone here so that you really feel that stretch all the way down the outside there, all the way down that right hand side. In breath, lift it up. And release. Take the right hand behind you, take the left hand to the right knee, sit up nice and straight. Breathe in, lift. Breathe out, twist around towards the right hand side. In breath, lift, out breath, twist. Keep the spine nice and upright here. Keep the pose dynamic, lifting on the in breath, moving into any space created on the out breath. And release back to centre. Take your left hand behind you, right hand to left knee. Breathe in, lift. Breathe out, twist around towards the left. In breath, lift. Out breath, twist around towards the left. And release. Now take hold of your strap. Take the strap in the right hand. Raise the right hand, dangle the strap down your back. Take your left hand and just ease that right elbow back a little. Sit up nice and straight. Make sure you're lifting the sternum here. And then take your left hand out in front of you, turn the thumb down, swing it back round behind you, take hold of the strap, or if you are a bit more flexible, maybe you can just make the bind and join those fingers, interlock the fingers behind your back. Make sure you're not compromising your neck though. Just nod your head from side to side. Just make sure you've got complete freedom of movement in your neck still. And then try and lift the right elbow, drop the left elbow, sit up nice and straight, lift the sternum. And release. Same on the other side. So strap in the left hand, raise the left arm, bend it at the elbow, take the right hand and just ease that elbow back a little. Take the right hand out in front of you, turn the thumb down, swing it back round behind you, take hold of the strap, or maybe if you can, make the bind. Again, check your neck, and then drop the right elbow, lift the left elbow, lift the sternum. Nice, long, steady breaths. And release. Okay, so now come over onto your tummy. Bring your elbows underneath your shoulders, forearms directly out in front of you into the Sphinx pose. So just allow your pelvis to sink into the mat, tops of the feet on the mat, lift the sternum. And then on an in-breath, lift the belly, lift the pelvis, maybe lift the knees and look down between your toes. Only go as far as is comfortable though. Out breath, peel yourself gently down the mat, coming back into the Sphinx pose. And again, in breath, lift the belly, lift the pelvis, lift the thighs, lift the knees, look down between the toes. Try and keep the breath nice and steady. And peel yourself gently down the mat again, lift the sternum. And one last time, fingers spread nice and wide, in breath. Lift the belly, lift the pelvis, lift the knees, look down between the toes. Press into the forearms, press into the tops of the feet. Keep the breath nice and steady. And then peel yourself gently down the mat. Make a pillow for your head with your hands. Bring your left ear to the mat. Let your ankles fall gently out to the sides. Stay with your breath. Try not to let your mind wander. And then bring your forehead to the mat, take your hands underneath your shoulders. Tuck the elbows into the sides. Breathe in, lift your head, lift your chest, come up into the Cobra, Bhujangasana. Fingers spread nice and wide, elbows tucked into the side. Lower it down a little and lift your hands. So the back bend's coming from your back now rather than from your hands. Replace the hands on the mat, maybe just lift a little, don't force it. And release. Make a pillow for your head with your hands. Bring your right ear to the mat. Stay with your breath. Bring the forehead back to the mat. Arms down by the sides. On an in-breath, lift your head, lift your chest, lift your arms, lift your legs. Reach behind you with your hands. It's a modified Salabhasana, locust. And release. Make a pillow for your head with your hands, left ear to the mat. Forehead back to the mat, arms back down by the sides, bend the legs at the knees. Reach back with the hands, take hold of the feet or the ankles, and keeping the thighs together. On an in-breath, lift the head, lift the chest, press the feet into the hands. Nice big deep breaths. Feel your body rock as you breathe. And release. Take your hands underneath your shoulders and push back to a child's pose. So, big toes together, knees apart, forehead to the mat, hands down by your feet, and just let go into Balasana. Just let go. Each in-breath, draw the breath up the back of the spine, and each out-breath, release into the pose. Lift yourself up, and then come up to a high kneel. So, tuck the toes, take the hands to the top of the buttocks. Breathe in, pelvis forward, lift the sternum. So this is Ustrasana, the camel, a modified version. Keep lifting the sternum, pelvis forwards. In breath, lift it up. So you can either do that again, or if you like, you can go a bit further. You can take your hands to your thighs or to your ankles, but only as far as is comfortable. Don't hurt yourself here. Breathe in, pelvis forward, lift the pelvis. Maybe hands to thighs, maybe hands to ankles. Pelvis forwards, lift the sternum. Big deep breaths into the chest. And lift it up. Take your right foot out to the side with the big toes pointing forwards. The toes pointing forwards, not just the big toes. Breathe in, raise your left arm, right hand on the thigh. Breathe out, stretch over to the right hand side. In breath, lift it up. Out breath, take the left hand down, take the right hand over. Maybe lift the right leg, but only if that's comfortable for you. Stretch that right hand away. And lift it up. Take that right foot behind the left foot. Take your left hand to the mat. And then draw this right hand up through your chest, reach for the ceiling. can just kickstand that left leg a little for a bit more balance if you like. And then if you want to go a bit further, you can lift that right leg. And come back down to kneeling, and then back up to the high kneel. Take the left foot out to the side, big toes back, toes pointing forwards. Well, I've got to think about big toes today. Breathe in, raise the right arm. Breathe out, stretch over to the left. Slide that left hand down the leg if you need to. Feel that stretch down the right side of your body. Take the right hand up and over and down to your side. Raise your left arm and maybe lift the left leg. And release. Take your left leg back behind your right. Take your right hand to the mat. Maybe just kickstand that right leg a little, and then draw the left hand up through your chest and reach for the ceiling. Lift out to the wrist. And if you want to go a bit further, you can just raise that left leg. And release back down to a kneeling position. So hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips, fingers spread nice and wide. Now just tuck your toes and lift up into a downward facing dog. So maybe just step your feet a little wider and hip width apart. On an out breath, release the right knee. In breath, straighten it nice and slowly. Out breath, release the left knee. In breath, straighten it. Continue with that again in time with your own breath. Nice and slowly, just easing out the backs of your legs, pedaling your heels. And then finish with one to the left, take your time. Draw the legs back to hip width apart and establish your downward facing dog. So your fingers are spread nice and wide. Thighs moving to the back of the room, chest moving towards your thighs. Heels are moving back and down, but they may not touch the ground. Your ankles may not be the right shape for that. Check you've got no tension in your head and neck. Maybe just nod your head from side to side. Lift out of the wrists by pressing into the base of the thumb and the base of the forefinger. Lift the pelvis. And then slowly and gently just walk your feet up towards your hands and hang in a forward fold. Maybe cup opposite elbows with opposite hands. Swing a little from side to side. Keep the legs strong, but allow your torso to completely relax. And back to centre. Take your hands behind your calves. Breathe in, lift up to a flat back. Breathe out, draw yourself back down into Uttanasana, forward fold. And then bring your legs a little closer together. Take your hands a little behind you. Breathe in, swing them forwards and up into Utkatasana, chair pose or fierce pose. So spine's nice and upright, tailbone tucked underneath. Gaze is soft and up between the hands. Keep the feet nice and active, feel like they're moving apart. And release and come up to standing. Come to Tadasana now. So big toes pointing together, outsides of the feet parallel. Activate the calves, the thighs, the glutes, lift the sternum. Arms hanging nice and loosely. Crown of the head parallel to the ceiling, reaching for the ceiling. So really just feel your feet rooting into the ground, your head lifting up towards the sky, and feel that stretch along the length of your body. So what looks like a passive pose is actually quite active. Hands to prayer position. You can go around a round of sun salutes. Breathe in and up. Look up at your thumbs, pelvis forwards. Breathe out and leading with the chest, swallow dive all the way down. Breathe in, lift up to a flat back. Breathe out, hands flat to the mat. Breathe in, step back with the right, look up a little, hold back with the left. Nice strong plank, fingers spread nice and wide. Nice straight line between the top of the head and the heels. Breathe out, knees down, rock the hips back a bit, keep the elbows tucked in, bring the chest and chin to the ground, Ashtangasana. Breathe in, slide forward into Bhujangasana, Cobra. Breathe out, downward facing dog. Breathe in, step forward with the right foot between the hands, look up a little. Breathe out, forward with the left, forward fold. Breathe in, come all the way up, and out, hands to chest. We'll go straight to the other side. Breathe in and up, look up at the thumbs, pelvis forwards. Breathe out, swallow, dive down. Breathe in, lift up to a flat back. Breathe out, hands flat to the mat, bend your knees if you need to. Breathe in, step back with the left, hold back with the right, nice strong plank. Breathe out, knees down, elbows in, rock the hips back a little, chest and chin to the mat. Breathe in, slide forward into Bhujangasana. Breathe out, downward facing dog. Breathe in, step forward with the left foot between the hands, look up a little. Breathe out, forward with the right, forward fold. Breathe in, come all the way up, and out, hands to chest. So I'm going to go around again with a couple of variations. Breathe in and up, look up at the thumbs, pelvis forwards. Breathe out, leading with the chest, swallow, dive down. Breathe in, lift up to the flat back. Breathe out, hands flat to the mat. Breathe in, step back with the right, hold back with the left, strong plank. Breathe out, knees down, elbows in, chest and chin down. Breathe in, slide forward into the cobra. Breathe out, downward facing dog. Breathe in, step forward with the right foot between the hands, use your hands to move it forward if you need to, and pause. Ground the back foot, 35 to 45 degree angle. Take the left hand out in front of you, swing it down and back, lift up into Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. So, your hips are facing the long edge of the mat. Press the back edge of the back foot firmly into the mat. Make sure the knee's not overshooting the ankle or wobbling out to the sides. Reach into the front hand, reach into the back hand. Keep the shoulders nice and open. Gaze is soft and out over the front fingers. Keep pressing into the back edge of the back foot. You may need to just lift that inner thigh a bit there. Stay with your breath. Bring the right forearm to the right thigh. Take the left arm up and over into Parsvakonasana. You want a straight line between the tips of your fingers and the back edge of the back foot. Keep rolling the top shoulder back, rolling the top hip back. And then lift the left arm a little, straighten the front leg, and just drop down very little into Trikonasana. Don't go all the way down or anything. You want to stay two-dimensional, so keep rolling the top hip back, rolling the top shoulder back. On an in-breath, lift it up. Cartwheel the arms round either side of the front foot. Breathe in. As you breathe out, step forward, forward fold. Breathe in, come all the way up, and out, hands to chest. Close the eyes. Take a few breaths here. Stay with your breath. And we'll go to the other side. Breathe in and up. Look up at the thumbs, pelvis forwards. Breathe out, lead with the chest, swallow, dive down. Breathe in, lift up to a flat back. Breathe out, hands flat to the mat. Breathe in, step back with the left. Hold back with the right. Breathe out, knees down, chest and chin down. Breathe in, slide forward into the cobra. Breathe out, downward facing dog. Breathe in, step forward with the left foot between the hands, ground the back foot. Take the right hand forwards, swing it back and down, lift up into Virabhadrasana 2 on the other side. Press into the back edge of the back foot, lift that inner thigh, reach into the front hand, reach into the back hand. Just make sure your shoulders are nice and open. Make sure your knees not overshooting that ankle. Sink into the hips on the out breath. Sink into the hips. Bring the left forearm to the left thigh. Take the right arm up and over into Parsvakonasana. Nice straight line between the tips of your fingers and the back edge of the back foot. Keep this nice bend in the front knee though. Don't lift out the front knee too much. Press into the back edge of the back foot. And then raise that right hand, straighten the front leg and drop down just a little into Trikonasana. Doesn't matter how far down you come, much more important to stay in 2 dimensions. So keep rolling the top hip back, rolling the top shoulder back. If you like, without compromising your neck, you can look up at the top hand, look for that thumb, and then on an in-breath, lift it up. Cartwheel the arms around either side of the front foot. Breathe in, as you breathe out, step forward, forward fold. Breathe in, come all the way up, and out, hands to chest. Take a few breaths here, keep the eyes closed, stay with your breath. Okay, so we're going to do a balance now. We're going to do Garudasana, the eagle. Garuda actually wasn't an eagle, it's a mythical bird, never landed. So, bring the weight into your left foot. So really feel that left foot rooting into the ground. Feel as though there's a big concrete block holding it into place. Lift the weight gradually out to the right hand side. And then start to lift that right leg. High across it past the left thigh. Tuck the toes of the right foot in behind the left calf if you can. And bring your hips to face the front. Breathe in, raise the arms, crooked at the elbow. Cross the left arm over the right, wrap them around, bring the palms together. Raise the elbows, take the hands a little away from the face, and then sink into the hips. Find a drishti, find a still unmoving point to focus on. Keep the breath steady, focus on your drishti. Keep lifting the arms, hands away from the face. And release. Now bring the weight into the right foot. Root that right foot. Visualize those roots going deep into the ground. Really feel like that foot is firmly fixed to the ground. Gradually lift the left leg. High cross it over the right. Tuck the toes in behind the calf. Bring your hips frontwards again. Raise the arms, bent at the elbows. Cross the right over the left. And wrap them round. Raise the elbows, find your drishti, find that still unmoving point to focus on, and then sink into the hips. Focus on your drishti. And release. Come to the middle of your mat. Hands to prayer position. Breathe in, lift right up on your tiptoes. And then take a whole out breath to just slowly lower your heels. In breath, lift up. Out breath, whole out breath to lower the heels. And then take your feet slightly wider than hip width. Breathe in, lift up on the tiptoes. Breathe out, lower yourself down into the squat. Keep your spine nice and upright as you come down if you can. And then come into the squat. So Malasana, you've got your elbows in between your knees, hands in prayer position, sternum lifting, hands moving towards your chest, lifting the crown of your head. And release. So get hold of your strap. Excuse me, another sip of water. And come to Dandasana. So, staff pose, hands by your hips, feet flex, legs strong, sternum lifting, crown of the head lifting. And then take your strap, take you around the balls of your feet. Breathe in, lift the sternum, breathe out, chest towards your toes, walk your hands down the strap. In breath, lift a little, out breath, chest towards your toes, walk your hands down the strap. When you've gone as far as you can, just release the strap, let your hands fall wherever they are, no need to reach for the feet unless your hands are already there. So don't put any tension in your shoulders, your neck. Keep the legs strong, and then the next out breath, just allow your torso to release down into the forward fold. Each in breath, draw the breath up the back of the spine. Each out breath, release into the forward fold. And release. So move
the strap out of the way. Take your hands behind you, the fingers pointing forwards. Breathe in, lift the pelvis, flatten the feet along the floor. And release back down to Dandasana. Hands by the hips, sternum lifting. Draw the right foot in towards you. Cross it over past the left thigh. You can either leave the left leg where it is, if that's enough for you, that's fine. Otherwise, you can swing that back round behind you, but make sure you've got both buttocks firmly on the mat. Use your left arm to hug that knee in. Take your right hand behind you, just to keep your spine nice and upright. Breathe in, raise the left arm. Breathe out, cross it over past the right thigh. In breath, lift, out breath, twist around towards the right. With each in breath, lift. With each out breath, move into the twist. Use this hand behind you to keep your spine nice and upright. Remember that spiral staircase. With each in breath, draw the breath up from the base of the spine up to the crown of the head. Feel the spiral of your spine. With each out breath, release into the twist. And release. Take your hands over to the left hand side. Swing your leg back to the front, if it was swung back, and then lean over to the left hand side. Bring the weight into your hands and into your right foot. And then when you're ready, see if you can lift that left leg. And release back down. Come back to Dandasana. Draw your left foot in, cross it over past the right thigh. Leave the right leg there, or if you like, swing it back round behind. Right hand hugs this knee in, left hand back behind you, holding you nice and upright. Breathe in, raise the right arm. Breathe out, cross it over past the left thigh. In breath, lift. Out breath, twist around towards the left. In breath, lift. Out breath, twist around towards the left. And release. Swing the leg back forwards if you've got it swung back. Take your hands down to the right hand side. Bring the weight into the hands and into the left foot. And lift the right leg if you can. Flex the foot of that right leg. And release back down. Come to Dandasana. Come to the front of your mat. Breathe in, raise the arms. Breathe out. Lower yourself back down the mat. And come down to Shavasana for your final relaxation. So hands down by your sides, palms upwards, feet falling gently out to the sides. And let go into the mat. Just really let go now. So come to your breath. And feel yourself sinking into the mat with each out breath. I'm going to do a ground and space relaxation now. This practice is intended to help you move beyond the limitations of your physical body. It widens your perspective and awareness in all directions. Okay, so let your breath become natural and spontaneous. Travel through your body, finding your grounding points, which are those parts of your body which touch the ground. Your heels, your calves, your thighs, buttocks, parts of your back, your shoulders, backs of your arms, backs of your hands, back of your head. Travel back and forth between them in your mind and ground yourself through these points. Stay momentarily grounded at each point, deepening and rooting into each part of the ground at a time. Now concentrate on the space in and around your body, starting with your feet. See and feel the space between these body parts and the ground. Your ankles and the ground, the back of your knees and the ground, the small of your back, the backs of your wrists, your neck. Feel and see the space between these body parts, between your toes, between your legs, between your arms and the sides of your body, between your fingers, between your ears and shoulders, between your chin and your throat. Feel and see the space in your palms, your ears, your nostrils, your mouth, around your eyes, and finally the space all around your body. Return to each body part individually and hold. Begin to open and expand the space around you. Widen these space points. Recall your grounding and space points. Visualize deepening the grounding and expanding the space points. See how this feels. Feel the union of your grounding points, which have merged with the earth, and your space points, which have merged with the space around you. Feel cocooned, nourished, held between the two. Satchitananda Parabrahma Purushottama Paramatma Shri Bhagavati Sameta Shri Bhagavate Namah. Allow your breath to deepen, small movements to come to your fingers and your toes, your hands and your feet, your arms and your legs, and the muscles of your face. Take your arms back over your head along the floor, have a good long stretch from the tips of your fingers down to the tips of your toes. And then draw your knees into your chest, give them a nice tight squeeze. Rock a bit from side to side. And then roll over onto your right hand side with your eyes closed. Just stay there for a couple of breaths. Use your hands and your arms to come up to a comfortable seated position, keeping your eyes closed if you can. I'm going to chant 3 Om, Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. You can join in if you like, but you don't have to if you don't want to. Breathe in for Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om, peace, peace, peace. Namaste. Thank you, everybody.